This month we have 4 planets, including the sun, shifting into new signs of the zodiac, and we enter eclipse season this month with a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new monthly intuitive energy forecast for March 2024. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do the monthly March energy forecast. So I'm really excited to see what is in store for us this month. We're going to be looking at the numerology vibration of this month, the astrological transits of significance. We're going to be looking at the collective message from one of our decks here that I'm about to show you, and a special message card depending on your stone of choice. So for this month, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. That's going to be the main message for the collective, and it's going to apply to everyone. And then your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Gateway of Light Activation deck by Kyle Gray. But before we take a look at those stones of choice and get into anything else going on this month, let's go ahead and close our eyes and do an empowered moment. So make sure that you are sitting or reclined or lying down just in a relaxed state. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Take a deep breath, clearing your mind, balancing your energy. Focus on your breath as you breathe in and out. And visualize beautiful golden white light all around you. Sense or see or feel or just know that you're surrounded in this protective, guiding, unconditionally loving golden white light. Take in a deep breath, breathing in the essence of that golden white light into every cell of your body. As you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. Imagine a grounding cord coming out of your root chakra and traveling through the layers of Earth Mother Gaia, eventually connecting with her crystalline heart chakra in the center of the earth. And Earth Mother Gaia provides us with her nurturing, mothering, and healing light. So let's breathe that in, up and in through the grounding cord. Letting it travel all the way up your grounding cord towards your root chakra. And as you exhale, that nurturing, healing light from Earth Mother Gaia is being dispersed throughout all of your chakras and energy bodies, bringing you even more into balance. And in this month of March, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. Libra is the sign of balance and harmony, equality, and partnerships, all kinds of relationships. And full moons are about completion, releasing, letting go, and healing. So it stands to reason that during this full moon lunar eclipse we'll be healing aspects of relationships, including our relationship with ourselves, bringing things back into balance, bringing things into a state of harmony and equality. And let's breathe in the essence of that intention, asking our angels and guides, healers and teachers of the highest vibration of light to assist us and guide us on the next step of our path in the releasing and letting go of emotions and feelings, perceptions and mindsets, karmic patterns, belief systems, that we no longer need to carry in our energy field. Breathe in deeply into that intention. And as you exhale, you're already starting the process of letting go, releasing and transmuting those energies that you no longer need to carry. Thanking your angels and guides for their assistance and guidance and help, and their continued assistance, guidance, and help with this matter. And one last deep healing, cleansing, balancing breath. And as you exhale, and when you're ready and in your own time, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for that special message card a little bit later on. So I chose these cards with the intention in mind that their properties would help us with this full moon lunar eclipse energy that we're going to be experiencing later in the month. And the first stone of choice is stromatolite. Isn't that a very cool looking stone? It's kind of like this dark black stone, and it's got these tan and brown kind of squiggly lines through it. So stromatolite is a stone of transition and transformation, as well as personal growth. And it assists with healing at the emotional level, the emotional body level, healing. It's also known as a stone of support, and it brings in the idea or the energy that everything happens for a reason, even if we don't know what that reason is right now. So again, that's stromatolite. Our second stone of choice is green opal. And the green opal is cleansing and rejuvenating to our body, mind, and energy field. It especially helps us to heal our heart chakra wounds, heart chakra issues, which of course includes relationship. It's a strong grounding energy. So as we're going through this emotional cleansing, clearing process, it helps to keep us a little more grounded in that process. This helps us in bringing in positive changes and kind of blooming into the next positive step on our path. Again, that's green opal. And then our last stone of choice is known as lazulite. Not to be confused with lapis lazuli, but this is lazulite, so it's a little different. This brings in a powerful energy to clear disturbances in our body, mind, and energy field, and bring meaning to our life, or bring back meaning to our life. It assists us with feelings of hopelessness, despair, depression, and anxiety, so bringing healing and offering support there. Also offering support in the way of light and hope and inspiration. A lazulite. So again, the stones of choice for this month are stromatolite, green opal, and lazulite. So let's put those aside here. And let's go ahead and talk about the numerology for this month of March. So we get the numerology vibration, which is called the universal month number vibration, by adding the number of the month, which March is the third month, so that's a 3. And we add that to the universal year energy vibration of the year in question. And we're in 2024 right now. So if you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, we get an 8 universal year vibration. This is for the collective. And we add that to the number 3, which is March's energy. And we get master number 11. So master number 11, right? It's all about this high light worker vibration, but let's look at the reduced energy first. If we take the 11 and we add those 2 digits together, we get the number 2. And so the number 2 is all about balance, harmony, compromise, equality, partnerships, relationships, and again, partnership and relationship to ourselves as well. So this is about mutual support, mutual understanding, mutual give and take. This is about making sure that what we're giving in our relationships, romantic, family, friendship, and business, that we're getting back equally in return in some way, shape, or form. And if we're not, if there's an imbalance going on, then we have to do something, whether it's change the situation or whether it's change an aspect or perception or perspective within ourselves, or allow that other person to go through their own process to shift and heal and change. We need to bring things again back into a state of balance and harmony within ourselves. Now, going back to master number 11, right? It's the number of the visionary and the light worker. So this, along with that number 2 vibration, is going to tell us that the month of March is about holding a vision for our future. It's about us holding a vision for our future. What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to do in life? What's our next step in life? It's kind of the visionary has this idea of being a future-oriented energy. The number of the light worker is also a title given to master number 11. This is us coming more strongly and securely into our psychic and intuitive abilities, our healing abilities, our spiritual mission, what we're here to do on the planet, how we're here to help other people, what we can do to serve humanity in some way, shape, or form. So very important number here. It's highly electrical, that master number 11. So think of an electrical energy wave of revelations and the higher wisdom and understanding and messages and guidance from the universe coming down through the crown chakra. It's like a channeling. So you're getting downloads of information with master number 11. You're receiving higher guidance, and it feels, again, very electrical. That energy is electrical in nature. So it might feel like you're experiencing a lot of nervousness or anxiety on a physical level. Maybe you're not sleeping as well at night, or maybe you're feeling anxious during the day, but you're not quite sure what it's about, or maybe you do know what it's about, but it seems like it's just over the top. And so know that some of that is, again, these higher light codes coming in through the crown chakra, the downloads that are coming in to kind of expand your consciousness and move you in your evolution and growth as a soul. You're expanding, you're awakening even more. So you might be having some ascension symptoms with that. We also want to look at the tarot card, the major arcana tarot card that master number 11 connects with. And that would connect with the Justice card. And in the Syrian Starseed Tarot, it's called Divine Justice. And here we have Lady Justice, who's blindfolded, holding the scales of justice. She's set in this kind of space in the cosmos, surrounded by the universe. This could be a portal to another dimension. This could be, some sort of aspect of like wormhole, where you're transcending time and space and you're moving into another dimension of time and space. But all in all, divine justice is bringing things back into a karmic balance. Whenever we see the Justice card, this can be about karma being rebalanced. And this follows the Wheel of Fortune from February, right? February would have been a 10 vibration, which relates to the Wheel of Fortune. So last month in February, there was things starting to shift, things that were in motion, that was changing the course of your soul direction. It might not have completed itself quite yet. It might just be in the beginning processes, but something was churning, something was happening. That Wheel of Fortune was shifting the energies of fate, so to speak, or the energies of dharma, if you want to call it karma and dharma. And this is kind of a continuation of that with divine justice, bringing the karmic scales of justice back into a balance wherever there was disharmony, imbalance, disempowering circumstances. That could have been a situation, a circumstance, a relationship matter, or something within yourself. Things are going to start to rebalance themselves now. And from a karmic perspective, so this, you can either kind of move along with the flow of that energy and assist that in rebalancing itself, Or if you resist that, if you try to hold back from any changes occurring, the universe here is going to step in. Lady Justice is going to step in, and she's going to assist with bringing this karmic rectification of energies. Now, justice is a really good energy. It's bringing justice for your soul evolution and growth. So change from a human perspective isn't always easy. It can be very challenging, but your soul, your higher soul self, knows where your soul needs to go next. And here with the Divine Justice card, this is assisting you from a higher level to make those shifts, allow those shifts to take place. So maybe take a little bit of action, or at least surrender to the process and know that you're divinely protected and guided as these karmic shifts and rebalancing are occurring this month. So let's go ahead and take a look at the astrological transits of significance this month. We mentioned a lot of planets shifting into new signs. And the first thing that happens that's significant is on March 9th. On March 9th, we have Mercury, the messenger planet, the planet that rules thoughts, ideas, perceptions, and communication, moving out of the sign of Pisces, which is more of this dreamy, intuitive, visionary, but not very action oriented when it comes to like taking an idea and setting it into motion. It's more like about surrender and imagination and envisioning something. But now it's moving into Aries on March 9th. Mercury moves into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of new beginnings, the sign of planting new seeds, the sign of initiating that new thought, that new idea, that new perspective into your life. And Mercury is going to stay in this sign of the zodiac until May 15th. Now that's longer than usual because Mercury, when it's in its regular motion, stays in each sign of the zodiac about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere like that. But this is until May 15th, the middle of May. Why is it taking so long to move through Aries? Well, it's going to go into a retrograde motion as of April 1st. So we'll definitely be talking about that next month. We start out next month with that Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aries, sign of initiation and new beginnings. This is actually a positive thing because it's giving us extra time to initiate this new beginning, to put that new idea, that new thought into motion. So this will give us time to, again, rework and restructure and redo what it is that we need to do in order to kind of set, at least in our mind, that new momentum, that new beginning. Now, on the very next day, which is March 10th, we have a new moon. This is a new moon at 20 degrees of Pisces. New moons are about new beginnings and planting new seeds, right? The initiation of a new cycle. But it's in the last sign of the zodiac here, Pisces. So this is the last new moon of this phase of completion that we're going into, because the next new moon, about a month from March 10th, will be in Aries, which is, right, that first sign of the zodiac, the sign of new beginnings. So for right now, the new beginnings could be in our imagination, not in a negative sense, like what we're imagining isn't going to come to pass, but more like imagining, envisioning, visualizing, seeing in your mind's eye with your third eye what the new beginning is all about, seeing what it is you want to create, because that's the first process to manifestation. Seeing something, and the more vivid and the more detailed you can get with that vision, the better. Now, don't be so detailed that you don't leave wiggle room for the universe to provide you with something even better. But see as much as you can with what it is you want to create. And there's such a magic with Pisces. Pisces is this magical and dreamy and miraculous, kind of sign of the zodiac. So miracles can occur with this new moon in Pisces. And for some of us, we might already be ahead of the game with things starting to materialize because, again, we're starting to shift into the Aries energy with Mercury moving into Aries. And on the 19th, we'll have the sun moving into Aries, which we'll get to in a moment. But the next thing that happens is on the 11th of March. So here we have the 9th of March, 10th of March and 11th of March. 11th of March. This is a 3-day kind of window of some shifting and changing going on, because on March 11th, we have Venus, the planet of love and relationships, but also of money and finances, our values, and our sense of self-worth. And she's moving into Pisces. Okay, so we've got that going on until April 5th. Venus will be in Pisces until April 5th. So just under a month, she's going to move right along through that sign of Pisces. And this is great because there's this feeling and energy of kind of, again, this unconditional love. So even if there is shifting and changes going on, and maybe within your relationships, there has a potential here of offering this unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness kind of feeling with Venus being in Pisces. Now, there can also with Pisces be boundary issues, and since Venus does rule relationships and partnerships, there might be some difficulty with some boundaries. There might be some energies of feeling the victim of circumstance, because Pisces can be about, feeling like you're the victim of, or, feeling like what do I want to say, that you're not supported by the universe, like, why are these things happening to me? And you can go kind of into this victim mode. So let's not do that, but let's instead just be in a state of opening our heart chakra to unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, and offering that to ourselves, but also to all the other people in our lives, because sometimes we just grow out of certain situations or grow out of certain patterns, right? And the evolution and growth of our soul, we sometimes have many different situations or opportunities or even connections with people that we have for a time, and then it's time to move on and grow. It's time to expand ourselves, because our soul is here to experience, to have experiences. And a lot of times, because we're here to grow and evolve, and we're here to have experiences, we don't stay in a place of sameness with work or career or living situation or relationship situations all the time. It doesn't mean we can't. It just depends on the soul's individual lessons in this lifetime. But know that there's this kind of fluidity with the Pisces energy. And with the new moon in Pisces and Venus moving into Pisces, we need to have this surrender aspect of just trusting and having faith that the universe and our higher soul selves knows where we need to go next and what experiences we need to have next to move us forward on our path. The next thing is the sun moving into Aries. This is the spring equinox on March 19th. The sun will be in Aries until April 19th, a month, which is typical, right? Obviously. And this is, again, this rebirth, this time of rebirth and planting those new seeds and taking some actions and moving in certain directions. In fact, take this window of opportunity between the 19th of March and the end of March to do so, because as of April 1st, remember, Mercury is going to go retrograde, and it'll kind of be, I don't know if I want to say backing us up a little bit, but it could slow things down a little bit. But again, it's good for a good reason. But while the sun in those last few days of March is in Aries, really do a ceremony or take some sort of action, make something happen in your life that shows the universe you're ready to birth something new. And then on the 22nd of March, we have Mars moving into Pisces until April 30th. Now, remember, we had Venus moving into Pisces on March 11th. Now we have Mars moving into Pisces on the 22nd. Those are the lovers, right? The feminine archetype with Venus, the masculine archetype with Mars. And they're both in this free-flowing, dreamy, lack of boundaries, good with forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love, but also, again, a little tested when it comes to needing to have trust and faith and surrender your path as far as where the universe is directing you next. Now, Mars is about action. It's energy, action, and forward movement. And in Pisces, it really does just need to go with the flow. You know, we might try to direct something, make something happen. And with Mars being in Pisces until April 30th, which, by the way, Mercury retrograde for most of the month of April, it's pretty on point there by the time we get to the end of April, that things may be able to start moving forward in a more timely manner, because Mercury will be out of its retrograde. Mars will end up going into the sign of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So we'll see a lot more happening at that time. Then we get to the 25th. This is the last thing of this month of March that is important to talk about. And this is where we have that full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra. Now, whenever we have an eclipse, we have a second eclipse that's going to follow. Sometimes there's 3 eclipses in a row, but usually it's 2. So now we're having first the full moon lunar eclipse. Full moons are completion, endings, releasing, letting go, and healing, right? It's in Libra. So again, we're talking about partnerships and relationships, and where there's a lack of equality and where there's a lack of balance kind of coming into play here. So, you know, this is going to be a time of immense healing, and a time where if things aren't able to come into a space of equality, compromise, and balance, we might need to release and let go of something and get ready to move into a new chapter of our lives. Because when we move into April next month and we do the April energy forecast, we're going to have that new moon solar eclipse in Aries, first sign of the zodiac. And so again, that whole month of April, we've got some things taking place that are assisting us with new information coming in with the Mercury retrograde in Aries, the new moon initiating new beginnings on April 8th. And then by the end of the month in April, we'll have Mars, energy, action, forward movement planet, moving into Aries, helping us to really move forward a lot faster. So it'll be an interesting month next month. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides for this month of March from the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So we look at the first card, and the first card is the 10 of Flames. This is like the 10 of Wands in the traditional tarot. Now, in the minor arcana, the 10th card is the last of the minor arcana, right? We start out with the ace and we end with the 10. The next card in the suit of flames would end up being the page. We start going into the court cards. So because this is the last card in the minor arcana, we know we're ending, or we're nearing the end of something. So we're nearing the end of some situation, some experience, some event, some feeling, some mindset or belief system, and we're getting ready to just let it go. Now, the suit of wands, the suit of flames, is the spiritual realm, okay? We've got the cups as the emotional realm. We've got the swords as the mental realm. We've got the pentacles, which is more the earthly realm, like career, money, finance, that kind of thing. The flames is more the spiritual realm. So you could say that we're nearing the end of carrying this heavy spiritual burden. I mean, look at this card. We've got an image of a person. They've got this thing on their back. They're carrying all these wands on their back. They're trying to move up this dark staircase. They are moving towards the light, right? They have a flame in their hand. They're moving towards the light at the top of the stairs. But if you're carrying something heavy up a flight of stairs and you're in the dark, right, it can be a little burdensome. It can be a little heavy. It can be a little difficult to do. So this is telling us that we're nearing the end of that cycle of energy, right? You've maybe been carrying some sort of heavy burden. Maybe it's been something within yourself, like depression or feeling hopeless about your life, feeling stuck or limited in your life. It could have to do with finances. It could have to do with your living situation. It could have to do with a relationship. And to me, because this is the spiritual suit, this could, be bringing in a lot of past life karmic influences where you've been kind of stuck in this pattern or stuck in this cycle. And the universe is saying, you know what? You don't have to be stuck there anymore. It's time to free yourself. It's time to move up those stairs towards the light. And once you get up to the top of the stairs and carrying all this heavy energy, you can let that thing off your back, move into this light through this new door, and see what's on the other side of it. And so this is actually, to me, even though it feels heavy as a first card to start out the month, it's actually a positive card because we're, again, nearing the end of some sort of cycle. We're completing some karmic lessons, and we're going to be able to shed those. Now, you do have to kind of initiate the shedding process, right? You could choose to hang on to something, but I suggest gently, and so do your angels and guides, that you release it and let it go so that you can move into something new, lighter, different, more joyful, more in alignment with your soul's truth. Let's look at the second card. Okay, so the second card is Major Arcana 2. This is the higher self in this deck. Now, this is the High Priestess, or the Priestess card in the traditional tarot. And with the High Priestess, there's a lot of psychic and intuitive and healing connectedness. We've got this water down here, and water is the emotional realm. It rules our intuitions, our empathic nature, our ability to connect with other people, as well as mostly with spirit, with our angels and guides, with our higher self, right? So there's a strengthening of the connection with our higher self going on here. And we do have a new moon. I know this looks like a full moon, and it could be that too, but we have a new moon in water sign Pisces. So our intuitions and psychic perceptions may be highlighted here this month. Also, with the full moon being an eclipse, even though it's in an air sign, the sign of Libra, this also could be saying that we're becoming more strongly connected to our higher truth, which is our connection to our higher self. That's bringing forth these important intuitive insights, these psychic impressions. And here the priestess, as is often typical with the priestess card, she's holding the book of knowledge. She's holding the Akashic Records book. So here this is connecting to your own Akashic Records, connecting with the Akashic realm, connecting with your soul's story from times past and what's going on in the present. To me, the Akashic Records is past, present, and future lives. And you can rewrite your book, so to speak, for the future, right? You may have certain things that have occurred in previous lifetimes, past incarnations. Your higher soul self knows exactly what those are. We can tap into those Akashic Records ourselves or with the help of someone else, and we can find out what are those patterns that keep repeating and why are they there, and what initiated them in the past. And then look at them from a present perspective. What can I do now in this lifetime, in this moment, to shift or change, what these patterns are all about? And how can I rewrite my story to be able to move forward into the future and have a new experience? And so I feel like you might want to pay special attention during the time around the new moon in Pisces and around the full moon lunar eclipse. Maybe even do a journaling exercise around that time to bring forth these psychic intuitive revelations and insights and epiphanies and aha moments that can assist you with moving or merging more with your divine truth and your higher self to move forward on your path. So let's go ahead and look at the last card. Okay, so we have Major Arcana 10, the Great Wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot. And the month of February was the Wheel of Fortune vibration. So here we've got the Wheel of Fortune ending out and rounding out our reading. And the very next card is the card that rules the month of March with the vibration of Master number 11 with Divine Justice. So isn't it interesting that we're talking about, again, a shift in the karmic wheel, a shift in the circumstances in our lives. The Wheel of Fortune is often about a shift away from what used to be and into something different, right? There's endings and new beginnings that come in with the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel. This can bring a successful completion to something, sort of like the World card. It's completion on some level and the new beginning of something different on another level. But again, our free will has the ability to come in and make different choices and decisions. But the universe is gearing up for us to have some sort of revelations, seeing that we don't have to carry this old energy and this old burden anymore. Connect with your priestess self, your powerful energy, and move forward. Let the wheel of fate, is sometimes what it's called, let the wheel of fate or the wheel of fortune carry you into a new direction. And you can see this, what do I want to call it? This energy in the middle, this symbol in the middle, it's very balanced, right? It's smooth though, too. It's not like the 6-pointed Star of David where there's, points on the end of these, although it does look like the 6-pointed star, but it's very rounded. It's more flowing and gentle. Like there's more of a feminine energy here, where if you trust and have faith and surrender, which is more of that feminine energy principle, then this is going to bring balance to your life. You can see how this image is very balanced. And again, it's flowing. It's as above and so below, and it's completion and new beginnings all wrapped up into one. And that's what the circle of, fate, or the circle of life, or the circle of the great wheel of fortune here is all about. Now, the 10th major arcana, right, it's got that 1 in it. 1 plus 0 is 1. That is a number of new beginnings, initiation, starting over, starting a new path, going in a new direction. So all of these things are indicated. Well, again, we bring something back into balance. We bring our energy, body, mind, and soul, body, mind, and spirit. We're bringing back a balance to ourselves. So this has been a very, very great message for the month of March. Let's go ahead and shuffle our Gateway of Light activation deck. I use this deck when I feel like there's hugely important soul evolution and growth energies going on, because we're entering eclipse season, the end of this month, and on April 8th is that second eclipse. I feel like it's important to see what message from a higher spiritual perspective your angels and guides in the universe want you to pay attention to. So the first stone of choice was the stromatolite. So we're going to ask for the special message card, guidance, for stromatolite. And this one's calling my attention right here. Memories of Atlantis. Memories of Atlantis. And it says at the bottom, spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. So this, again, this, first of all, you might have had an Atlantean lifetime, as a lot of light workers often have. A lot of us were living in the times of Atlantis in some way, shape, or form, trying to, bring enlightenment to the planet. Of course, there ended up being 2 factions to Atlantis, right? The lower energies and the higher energies. And here we've got an Ankh, a spiritual Ankh here in the middle. So there's some sort of Egyptian connotation as well, which I feel like when the continent of Atlantis went through its destruction phase, a lot of people migrated to Egypt. So there might be also some past life influences from Egypt for you. So pay attention to the Egyptians, gods and goddesses. Maybe one of them kind of comes up in your mind, or you've also been working with one of them. And again, with spiritual acceleration and progress, because we're moving into that time of completion, new beginnings, and we're moving into the time of the Aries energy of planting new seeds and moving into a new cycle of energy. This is like going through this portal, going through this door, right? Maybe taking some of your Atlantis memories or the spiritual power, gifts, talents, and abilities you had in the Atlantean times, and moving through this new door to this new beginning. Maybe connect with, through like a guided meditation, your Atlantean energy or your Egyptian energy, and how that might look for you. We've got like the golden city here, right? The crystalline golden city of Atlantis. Maybe you want to see that and visualize that. Maybe you've already had dreams about that. And this is really helping you to progress faster than you might expect. So what's coming in is that if you take some sort of action to move forward rather than trying to hold on to the past, something's going to happen more quickly than you realize. Something's really going to like speed up here and really unfold, start to manifest and come to pass. Before you realize it, you'll be kind of in this new energy, and you'll have this amazement at the wonder of it all and how fast you've progressed here. All right, let's put that back in the deck in case somebody else gets it. The second stone of choice was the green opal. So we got a special message we need to pick for green opal people. Green opal, this one's calling my attention. This one is the Temple of Truth. The Temple of Truth. And at the bottom it says throat chakra, authenticity, and self-expression. So this definitely, we're focusing on thoughts, ideas, communication, all associated with, thoughts, third eye, listening to messages, ear chakras, throat chakras, what this card is mostly expressing. But it starts here, right? It starts here like we receive the information or some sort of communication, we're listening to it, we're seeing it, and then we're speaking it. We're speaking our truth. So this is, where you need to be authentic and truthful and honest and speak your truth. And I remember that the green opal was about emotional healing and relationship healing. So we might need to have a real active, open, honest, compassionate, if possible, conversation with people or a person in your life. We need to express our truth, because closing down your throat chakra and not expressing that truth is not going to do you any favors, right? It's blocking that chakra. Here we've got like this dam or this spiritual door opening, and the water is just flowing through. And water, again, is emotions. It's the emotional nature. Now, we don't want to be overly emotional, where the emotions have been dammed up so long. We haven't been speaking our truth for so long that it just kind of all comes out and blurted out and it's all emotional. So we definitely want to sit and take a deep breath and kind of process this in our minds and think about how it is we want to, communicate something or say something, maybe even writing it out and writing it down. And even if you have to like take a piece of paper and say, these are the thoughts that I want to express. And I know it might seem silly that I have a piece of paper here, but I don't want to forget anything that I want to express here. Now, the key word here is authenticity. You need to be your authentic self. And so many of us, for fear of hurting someone else or fear of change, we don't open our throat chakra, communicate, and we're not in alignment with our authentic self. We're doing ourselves as well as the other souls in our lives a disservice, because not only are you keeping yourself from your evolution and growth, but honestly, you're keeping other people and other souls from their evolution and growth. We can't stay in sameness all the time, because that's stagnancy, right? Things need to be expressed. And it doesn't mean you're going to express something and have to move on. It just might mean you're going to express your truth and be authentic, and something within your situation or circumstance is going to change for the better. But if it's relationship oriented, it takes two people, right? It takes both of you wanting to do so. But just know either way, whether it does deal with relationship and you're speaking your truth and the other person gets upset, it's still about their higher soul self and their evolution and growth, as well as your own, that we need to pay attention to. So open up that throat chakra and express yourself. And I know that these aren't necessarily what I'm going to say they are, but these two symbols right here almost look like angel feathers to me, or angel wings. So know that your angels are behind you. Your angels, your guides are with you, and they're assisting you. Or call them in before you have the communication, because they're assisting you through this process. Let's put that back in the deck. And the last stone of choice was what was it called? Lazulite? Lazulite. All right, so let's give this a little shuffle. And we're going to ask for the message for the Lazulite people for March. Lazulite. This one's calling my attention. The Order of Melchizedek. And with the Order of Melchizedek, it says at the bottom, embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. So, the order of Melchizedek, Melchizedek was mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible. Now, I'm not like versed in the Bible, but I do know that Melchizedek was mentioned in the Old Testament. A lot of people think he was the first incarnation of Jesus the Christ. Either that or that energy was emulated, coming from Melchizedek, and then later on that same sort of spiritual Christ consciousness energy then coming through the figure we know as Jesus. The order of Melchizedek is, in this present timeline, like an order of the priesthood. In fact, I'm ordained through the order of Melchizedek. And that was way back in like 1996 that I was ordained in the order of Melchizedek. And this is, again, about living from high authenticity, living from a place of higher spiritual consciousness, being of service, especially to the planet and humanity, which is why I think it says mission uncovered. So it doesn't mean that you have to become a priest, right? But the mission uncovered piece, I feel like, is discovering your spiritual connection, discovering your spiritual truth. And what is your soul here to do, right? What are you here to offer to humanity? Some sort of creative self-expression, some, sort of healing, some sort of idea, it can take a host of so many different things, as all of us light workers on the planets have different talents, gifts, and abilities. But I feel like here we're tapping into whatever that mission for you personally is, and we're uncovering it. We're having this revelation. We've got this pillar of light here that's coming in. And that pillar of light is like the download of higher consciousness, higher wisdom, higher understanding. It's those revelations that come in from a higher universal source that is awakening you to what it is that your mission is all about, and helping you to uncover that and move towards that. And the last phrase here on the card says, don't give up. So this is a time as we move through March and into the spring equinox, and then even through April with the Mercury retrograde and the new moon solar eclipse, and finally Mars moving into Aries. It is a time to not give up, but to hang in there. Something big is about to happen. We're all on a collective level moving into a new cycle. And for you don't want to throw in the towel before it's your time. You don't want to give up before the universe hands you the gifts and the blessings that you're meant to have and that you're meant to express for all of the world. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this monthly energy forecast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I send you all so much love and light and many, many blessings as you both surrender as well as take action to move forward on your path. Namaste, everyone.